Alright, well this video is a quick tutorial on how to do global and local corrections. I'm also going to show you a quick and easy way to find a neutral value using your gray card. So this is the image we're going to be manipulating today, and when I shot this I also shot this other image which contains the gray card. Note that the gray card is has the same light falling on it as the subject. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open up a curves adjustment layer. There it is. Okay, and then we have three sliders on the left side: shadows, highlights, shadows, midtones, and highlights. If we click on the midtone eyedropper here and pop it right on our gray card, look at that. So we looks like we increased our red, increased our green slightly, and decreased our blue. And that actually looks great. I'm going to close that out to get it out of the way. Now, this is really quite simple. We're just going to take that adjustment layer, and we're going to drag it and drop it onto the other image. And now we don't need this image anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and say to get rid of it. Now it's as though we had a gray card in this image, because again, shot using the same basically the same setup, same really the light and color and exposure need to be the same. So alright, so then right here you can see warmed it up significantly. We had a lot of blue there, and by let's turn the view back on there. Yeah, alright. And this is, having shot this sort of later on towards the afternoon, this is pretty accurate as to the warmth of the light coming into this scene. So, right there, off the top, we've done a global correction. A global correction is simply a correction that you do that affects the entire image. So, now we're going to do a local correction. And one that I frequently do is basically just selectively lightening or darkening areas. And this one is actually, there's not a lot that I would necessarily do it. But let's say we wanted to open up the shadows on this side of our subject's face. So, once again, we'd go to a curves layer, and you can see, brand new one here. That's probably a bit too much. We're sort of trying to open up some of these lower shadows. Sometimes you can even go a bit more than you want to, because basically what we're going to do now is, if you guys haven't used this before, this is a layer mask, and it affects how this is applied to our image. So I'm going to hide that for a minute. So right now, this curves layer is, again, just like the global correction, it's affecting everything on there. Now, if I go and invert this layer mask, stay with me, those of you who are not big-time photo people, or Photoshop people, I should say. We're all big-time photo people. So, Control-I inverted it. That made it go away. So right now, everywhere that's black is not being affected by this layer. And now if I go in to my paintbrush, and I paint white onto my image, I'm actually painting onto this. You have to make sure that that your layer mask is selected and not your adjustment panel here. If I click on that, that'll bring this out so I can work on that some more. That's not what I want here. I want to make sure that my layer mask is selected. Alright, and I am going to make my brush size fairly small. I'm going to zoom in so I get some pretty good detail here. And then what we're looking for on an adjustment like this, we want to go up here to our options bar, and you want to make your opacity fairly low. 18 is good. Somewhere around 20 for an adjustment like this. And you want to make sure that your brush, that the hardness is set fairly low. I mean, you could even go all the way down to 0. You don't want hard lines on the edge of this adjustment because then it's going to be real obvious. If you have a nice soft feathered edge and you blend it in at a low opacity, it's going to make this look pretty much seamless. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly paint that, and you can even start to see already it's opening up this shadow a little bit, because basically it's just bringing back, and if you look at the layer mask here, you can see that's right where I did it, right there. It's bringing back some of this adjustment layer. So most of it has been covered up, but a little bit of it is coming back. And I can come in here and just, as I want, adjust this. I can make my brush a little bit bigger if I want to. But again, low opacity is a good thing to have, and soft edges so that your work is more or less seamless. I'm going to go out one, zoom here, and if we want to look and see what effect this is having on our image, we can just, okay, so you see, sorry, my computer's running a little bit slow here, but you can see, so this is no layer mask at all, and this is with the layer mask that we did. So this would be a local adjustment. Basically, it's any adjustment that's only done to a specific area of the image. Now, there are other ways to do this. Certainly, you could take any one of your selection tools over here. You could make a selection, and you could make a color, you can make a hue adjustment, you could make a exposure adjustment. That would count as a local correction. However, if it doesn't look good in the image, you're not really doing your job. So anyway, there's a number of things, especially with, like, if you're doing retouching, like when they do the retouch Madonna's face or retouch Miley Cyrus's face in Photoshop. They do a ton of like tiny adjustments like this, but that's another class, and that's one of my favorite things to do, actually. But oh, you can also see, if you just want to look and see like what this looks like, that's what the actual layer mask looks like. So basically, everywhere there's white is allowing some of that correction that you did on the whole thing to come through. So I'm sorry, I clicked on Alt, and then I clicked the actual mask itself. As you can see, another little trick you can do is you can hold down the Shift key, and that's the same as turning the visibility off and on for this layer. It'll put a little X through it. So if you get that, just hit the Shift again, click on that layer mask again, and it goes away. So, yeah, we have an assignment in the class that this will be with, that is, is to do these things to your images. So you need one of these, and you need one of those. Alright, if you have any more questions about layer masks, about global and local corrections, or about anything else, just shoot me an email. Otherwise, have fun correcting your images.